Manila. Really relevant, you know. Alright, so let's all welcome them. A round of applause, please.
The Philippines goes through cycles of intense heat and raging storms, along with floods that follow. The country has a high risk in flooding, but in these floods, we see a repeated cycle of lapses of disaster response efforts. Filipinos have endured devastating floods and storms, with Yolanda in 2013 being the worst, resulting in over 6,000 deaths. After all, we are ranked as the most exposed country in the world to tropical storms. We experience at least 10 typhoons, some deadly, and a significant part of the hazard comes from floods. Floods that can destroy entire neighborhoods. Just as of yesterday, Typhoon Christine has displaced 319,000 Filipino people from their homes, and 47 people have died, with many more missing. Well, right now, it's currently at 76, 30 plus more than our initial count from last night. So we can see that floods can destroy, floods can kill, but we will always rise above them.
Now, imagine being a flood rescuer in Naga, where thousands are trapped to this day on rooftops as floodwaters rise. Yet, for an entire street, you are left with a single inflatable boat. You ride the boat with other rescuers, picking up people one by one. Then you hear the cries of a baby, so you go on a detour. You crisscross and go in loops to save people, but suddenly your motor stops working. All of the rescuers jump into the water and manually push the boat. Suddenly, you hear a pop. Your boat is punctured and air is leaking out. You signal to nearby rescuers, but they don't understand your gestures. Nonetheless, you manage to reach the evacuation center, where people can finally find somewhere safe. By safe, it's actually just an open air court with thin fabric tents where they'll stay for weeks. That same day, former VP Lenny Robredo posted a request for boats, and President Marcos responded that boats were on the way, though some were coming from as far as Mindanao. People began posting online asking for help because they had been left behind or forgotten on rooftops. Luckily, some were fed by Lenny, who was swimming in the flood while pushing a boat full of relief goods, not people. Our disaster response is clearly in a poor state, but it can't stay like this forever.
By 2100, 17% of the country will be submerged with the rising sea levels, forcing 13.6 million Filipinos to relocate. So there are more intense floods also projected to occur in this century. So these are just natural disasters, but most worst disasters are man-made. Many floods occur because of our drainage system being clogged by plastic waste. The Philippines is the top plastic polluter in the ocean, accounting for 36%. We are the third largest contributor of plastic waste globally, but this remains severely mismanaged. So let's break down the problems. So we are constrained by first, the lack of boats, followed by the lack of real-time communication methods, both of which complicate the process of rescuing. These two issues result in people being left behind, forcing boats to go in loops or detours, risking being swept away just to go back and forth. Third, evacuated families stay in open air and thin fabric shelters, which can lead to the spread of illnesses and colds during the cold temperatures and strong winds. So, given these issues, we have devised a solution that will make rescue operations smarter, faster, and safer, all while helping upcycle plastic waste.
We target the disaster risk reduction and management offices of LGUs and NGOs. These organizations plan and execute flood rescue strategies in vulnerable low-lying areas near bodies of water. They value adaptability, ensuring their communities adjust to changing conditions and remain resilient during disasters. However, as mentioned, they face numerous logistical issues. With that, we introduce the Sagipbayan boat, a two-in-one boat and shelter made from recycled plastics. This was designed to tackle the shortage of boats, lack of communication, and poor conditions of evacuation centers. It can connect in three different ways. First, connect the boats. Each boat has a capacity of 8 to 10 and can connect with other boats thanks to its modular design. The boat is equipped with ball and socket joints and pipe clamps connected to the provided paddles. These mechanisms allow the boats to connect from all sides, enabling customized shapes and strategies. Second, connect through the radio. Each boat is equipped with a two-way radio, enabling communication with other boats, spotters at vantage points, and rescue headquarters, ensuring coordination on where to go, who to rescue, and how to collaborate with other boats. Third, connect the boat's components to create shelters and walls. The boat can be unfolded into three platforms linked by double action hinges and the tab and slot mechanism, allowing easy unfolding into large platforms that connect with other boats. This provides protection, security, and privacy for evacuees.
Apart from the addressing the pain points of the target segment, we also want to add value to our target. We also want to add value by allowing rescuers to improve their overall strategy. So before calamities, these can be stored in intersections, evacuation centers, or the upper floors of building for easy deployment. If they need to be mobilized to other areas, they can easily be loaded into trucks or be pulled by other boats. So during a flood, rescuers can use them one at a time for agility, connect them like a train for efficiency, or link them together like a larger boat for stability. They can be propelled by paddles or pulled together by motorboats, whichever works best for the flood conditions. They can even turn into temporary bridges or cargo platforms to transport relief goods. After rescue, displaced individuals can stay in the shelters made by unfolding and securing the boats, providing protection from the harsh winds and cold. Like the boats, these shelters can be made in various sizes. They can also be converted into barriers or walls instead of full shelters. Once evacuees have returned safely to their homes, the boats will be folded back and stored, ready for their next use and rescue operation.
Now that we've explored the value we provide to our customers, let's examine the environmental benefits of our main material, recycled PET. Known for its use in drink bottles, it can be gathered, decontaminated, shredded into flakes, and molded into new shapes, allowing it to serve a new purpose. This material is not only durable and lightweight, but can also be upcycled repeatedly. This fosters a circular economy, prevents contributions to plastic pollution, and converts waste into valuable resources. Something unique about our idea is that we allow LGUs to provide their own PET bottles for discounts. This approach promotes waste segregation and the circular economy while reducing costs, enabling LGUs to afford more boats and address our initial problem. Our price per unit ranges from 20,000 to 40,000 pesos, depending on the order size and the quantity of bottles received. In comparison to our competitors such as rubber, plastic, and speedboats, it is evident that the Sagagbayan boat excels in terms of price, ranging from 20,000 to 40,000 pesos, and features a modular design, high portability, moderate durability, and paddle propulsion. Overall, it stands out as the best option for addressing the urgent challenges of flooding. We estimate demand for 687,125 boats, which is the ideal number for the 5,400,000 Filipinos expected to be exposed to flooding by 2060, according to DENR. This scenario assumes a ratio of one boat for every 8 people.
So to achieve this, we will enter first the market by focusing on the top 10 flood-prone areas, which is Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Tarlac, Maguindanao, Bulacan, Metro Manila, North Cotabato, Oriental Mindoro, and Ilocos Norte. So we aim to acquire customers through two strategies. First, we want to provide rescue training using our boats through flood simulations, demonstrating how efficient and intuitive our boats are in the rescue operation. Second, we like to conduct initial strategy assessments for LGUs to help them identify the number of boats needed for their rescue, guiding their eventual strategy development. So in terms of scalability, we can eventually expand to more ASEAN countries facing similar disasters and constraints as the Philippines. So another opportunity involves reusing other rescue-related products using the same type of plastic and upcycled materials.
To conclude, we'd like to introduce our team. I'm Josh Mateo, the CEO with expertise in product innovation, marketing strategy, design, and operations. I've worked for companies such as L'Oreal, Red Bull, and VML. I'm a senior at Ateneo, studying communications technology management, and was an exchange student at the Lyon Business School in France, studying innovation and corporate entrepreneurship. Recently, I won L'Oreal Brandstorm PH, which is an innovation competition.
And I'm Marissa Berger, the COO with an expertise in legal compliance, marketing strategy, and logistics. I recently served as a legal intern in SRMO, and I'm currently a senior in Ateneo studying legal management and marketing. And with that, thank you for listening to our pitch Sige Buy and Go. We look forward to making rescue operations smarter, faster, and safer for every Filipino. Ligtas sa baha with Sige Buy and Go.